Okay, here is part 2 of terminology, and this is a review of polynomials. So a monomial would be one term. So an expression that has one term is called a monomial. Expressions that have more than one terms is called a polynomial, and a few of them have special names. So a binomial is an expression with two terms, and a trinomial is an expression with three terms. If it has more than three, we simply call it a polynomial. So let's practice that. And again, here what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video, and I want you to try this on your own and then check your answers. So the big thing with finding out if it's monomial, binomial, trinomial is figuring how many terms it has. And the easiest way to do that is to check for plus or minus signs. If it doesn't have any plus or minus signs, it's only going to have one term, regardless of how many variables. So for example, 4x and 3x squared yz, even though that has a bunch of letters, it's only one term. 7, and that's it. So for binomials, we're looking for two terms, or basically one plus or one minus sign. So 3x plus 2, 5x minus 8, 4xy plus 2, and 4xyz minus 5. And it's not how many letters it has, it's how many terms it has. Trinomial, then, we're looking for three terms. 5x squared minus 3x plus 2, 3y minus 5z plus 2, and 3x plus 7y minus 5. So I want you to double check that you have everything right. Ask any questions if you don't understand. This one is talking about the degree of a polynomial, and it can be a tricky one at times. Basically, what you want to do is look at each term individually and add up the exponents within that term. And then you're going to compare them, and you're going to pick the one that's the biggest. So whichever one has the greatest sum, whichever term has the greatest sum, will be the degree of the entire expression. Remember that a letter by itself means something to the exponent of 1. So for example here, t by itself means t to the 1. Oops. Oh, darn. Okay, so again, let's go back there. T by itself means t to the 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3. 1 plus 4 is 5, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So when we compare those, 5 is the term with the highest sum. That's going to represent the degree of the entire expression. This next one, we have 3, a 2, and a constant has a degree of 0 because there aren't any variables. Here, when we compare, the term with the highest sum is the one with the 3, so that's the degree of the entire expression. This one, there is only one term, so 1 plus 1 is 2. It's automatically going to be the highest sum because it's the only one. Likewise here, 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. That's the only term. It's automatically the highest. So again, you look at it, each term individually, add up the exponents, and then compare all the terms and choose the highest sum to represent the degree. At the bottom, I want you to try these, and I want you, again, to pause the video, try them, and then check to see if you're right. So 3x is a degree of 1. 2 plus 1 plus 1 is 4, so that one's a degree of 4. Here, this is 2, this is 1, this is 0, so the highest is 2. Here, this is 2 and this is 1, so the highest is 2. Again, we have a 2 and a 1, the highest will be 2. Here, a 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, and that's the only term, so it's automatically the highest. Here we have 3 and 2, so 3 is the highest. Here we have a 1 and a 0, so 1 is the highest. For this one, we have 4 and 1, so 4 will be the highest. So check that you've got those right. Remember, it's each term, add up the exponents, and then choose the highest sum. All right, for this one, I just have to adjust the screen a bit because it's gotten cut off. So again, for this one, what I want you to do is try it on your own, pause the video, and then check if you're right. For terms, I just want you to write how many terms there are. Classification is monomial, binomial, trinomial, or polynomial. So for the first one, there are 3 terms. that's called a trinomial. The first term has a degree of 5, 2, and 0. So the entire expression has a degree of 5 because that's the highest sum. Here we have two terms. And it's called a binomial. This one has a degree of 3, and this has a degree of 2, so the highest is 3. This one is only one term, so it's called a monomial. And this whole term has a degree of 6, 2 plus 3 plus 1, and because that's the only one, it's the highest sum. So check that you got those right. Go over it if you need any help.